everybody. Hey, Facebook and YouTube. Hey, Instagram. I'm glad to see everybody. I wish I had y'all all in one space, but this just shows better on either platform when I have Instagram over here and when I have Facebook down here. For some reason, my streaming software don't want to let me be great, but that is okay. I'm glad you guys are here tonight. Y'all, we're back at it. The 90-day no talk experiment. This is what we're going over my book. You can find my book on Amazon. I'm trying to decide if I had a thing for it. I can't remember, but you can find me on Amazon. I don't think I have the book on here. I don't have my book on here. I got everybody else's book on here except mine, but that's okay. You can find it on Amazon. Please do let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm so excited to have you with me tonight. I say this every time, and I'm going to try to be truthful tonight. I try not to lie, really, y'all. I'm not going to be long. Hey, everybody. Hey, y'all. Okay. So I hope that the study has been good for you. It's just really discussion. It's just going through parts of my life that were a struggle for me and how the Lord brought me out. You know, I'm not deep. I'm not a theologian. I don't know the Greek and the Hebrew of every word. I know where to find it. I could look it up. I probably may not sound as deep as some people, but I can tell you this. I have a relationship with the Lord. I know God just like I know the back of my hand. And he knows me. And that's the better part of my relationship with God. It's personal. It's fulfilling. It brings me much joy. It brings me happiness at times when I shouldn't have joy or be happy. So I want to present this picture to people. I want you to know God just like I know God for yourself. Not have my relationship because it's never going to be the same. Hey, everybody, glad you're here. But tonight we're jumping in day 67. Y'all, we're on day 67. We started on 90. Okay, we're going backwards now. We almost 30 days in. One more week, it'll be 30 days we've been doing this. Somebody asked me yesterday, I was traveling. I was in South Carolina with my dad. It was him and my stepmom's their 23rd pastoral anniversary. And I only could make it on Sunday because it's in South Carolina. I live in North Carolina, so I could only make it on Sunday. But someone was asking me, how often do I do this live? And normally it's once a week, but in January, I started doing the 40 Days of Love. If you did not catch that series, you can catch that over on my YouTube channel. There's a link in the bio on Instagram. And of course, my Facebook folks and YouTube folks, you know where I am on YouTube. So I did that for 40 straight days. I think I missed one day. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that was the directive from the Lord. I took 2 weeks off, and then March the 1st, I started doing this series, which is my book, because I just want people to know that God cares. I want you to hear the different stories and scenarios and things that I went through and come through and still at some points overcoming, and to let you know that God is in all of it. So let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm so thankful that you're here. Day 67 is a Facebook post, right? So what you'll notice if you purchase the book, you don't have to purchase the book, but if you happen to purchase the book, there is a insert for every single day. It's like you have a table of contents. It's 90 days, and every day has a different topic. And day 67 is Facebook posts. So I'm just going to read, and as the Lord gives me things to share, I'll share, but I'm reading out of the book. I'm on page 61 if anybody is interested in following along, if you have your book. Thank you from Arkansas. Hey, y'all. Hey, Texas. Hey, Indiana, Maryland, Virginia. Hey, Instagram, wherever you're from. Hey, everybody. Please, please, please do like the video. Give it hearts, stars, thumbs up, all the things. It just helps push out into the algorithm so more people find us. I think last week it said that our videos were watched over 113,000 views. So please, please, please keep sharing. That's helpful for the children and I. We are trying to get our numbers up because, of course, that is a stream of income for us, and it helps us in our family. So we appreciate. All right. Last night, I was speaking to a friend about some things and decided to tell my truth. Now, let me tell you something. There's a difference between your truth and his truth. There's a difference between the reality you currently live in and the truth. Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life, right? No man comes to the Father except by me. That is the truth. That is the maximum truth of life. You can't get any higher of truth than that. But sometimes we think our truth is the truth, and it's not. It's just my current reality. So I have to understand where I am living in. This is my current reality. This is not the end of the story either, right? I'm only on page 61. There's a lot more pages to go. That's the same with the story of your life. We're just living out a small portion, a small section of this life. And we think that it's going to come to an end. And then God throws a plot twist in, right? He throws in something we never expected, a person we never expected, a blessing we never expected. And you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming, right? It's like every good book is a page turner. You can't wait to get to the next page. You're like, oh my goodness, what is going to happen next? That's how your life is. And we're living out that life. It's just the reality in the moment. Last night, I was speaking to a friend about some things and decided to tell my truth. She said, you just seem to have it all together and make it all work, or something close to that. Most people that see me on social media do tend to say things to me like that. Shakima, you just got it all together, girl. Every time I see you, you are doing all the things. And I think people live in this fantasy world when they see me. The truth is, this is my human truth. My grandparents worked all the time. My grandma, my and granddaddy were up early every morning. They were out by 6 a.m. doing something. You never slept. You never did anything. We were always doing something. So by nature and by my experience and how I was raised, I'm a worker. I'm what is called a workhorse. I will work you under the table, period. I don't have time to rest. I don't have time to break. I'll sleep when I'm going on to glory. But in this present moment, I need to maximize and make every minute count because there's too many things that have to be done. Jesus did give us the Sabbath day to rest, and I'm thankful for a Sabbath day of rest. But most people are resting 6 days and working 1 day and they're confused about why they're not getting ahead in life. And so when you see me, please don't compare my life to your life. I have some very unique situations over here. Most of my friends, if not all of them, are married. I don't have a husband. I don't have to tend to marital things. The Bible tells us we shouldn't even want to be married because married folks got to tend to married folks. It's the single people who should be running the church because I don't have married things to deal with. I don't have a spouse to attend to his needs and all that. I don't have small children anymore. My children are 34. Today is Shamika's birthday. She just turned 34. By 9:08, she was already born. She was born like 6 something in the evening. So I have a 34-year-old. Trandon will be 28 next month. Alana just turned 20 in January, and Jackson will be 15 in April as well. So I don't have small children. My time does not have to be divided between this activity and that activity. Sister's going to try for her license next week. Praise the Lord. Hopefully she will get that. And then she'll be able to be self-sufficient driving on her own, taking herself to places. That's going to free me up again to do more work around my house. But I didn't start off having it all together. You see the package now put together for years and years and years and years of the Lord working on me. Follow me. When my ex left, yes, he left all of us. He didn't just leave me. He left all of us, my kids included. I felt like my heart would explode. Y'all, I thought my life was going to end. I could not imagine this. I never would have seen it coming. I just didn't see it coming. I don't know why I don't know where I was. My thinking was not there. I just didn't. I never thought I would be a single parent. I never thought I would be single. I never thought I would be divorced. I didn't get married to get divorced. I got married to be married. And my husband was my air. He was the breath I breathed. I love that man. And when he left, I felt like my air had been stripped away from me. I didn't know how to operate or function. I couldn't breathe. I remember laying on the altar for 3 years, every Sunday, just asking the Lord to heal me of this pain. For 3 solid years, I would go to church on Sunday and I would just lay out on the altar and I would cry and I would cry and I would cry. And they, after a while, they just got tired of messing with me. They just said, leave her down there. Just leave her. We'll just keep preaching around her. It'll be fine. 3 years. I laid in that. And here's what I prayed. And most people don't pray this. Y'all, I prayed some stuff. I said, Lord, let me feel every pain that there is to feel so that I don't repeat this pattern again. I don't want to go through this again. I don't want to feel this way again. So whatever I got to do so I don't feel like this, help me. I want to feel it all. Give it to me now so I don't have to feel it later. I cried, I snorted, I hollered, I screamed, I pitched a fit, all the things. Then one day, after 3 years, 3 solid years, it's something about 3. I'm going to preach that one day. Then one day I got up and put my big girl pants on and said, okay, this is my life. And I made a life-changing decision. This is my current reality. It is not the truth of God for me, but it is the truth that I'm living in right now. It's my current status. I'm single. I'm a single mom. I have young kids. I'm doing all the things. That was my reality in those moments 15 years ago. And I had to live in that. I had to recognize it. I had to acknowledge it. And then I had to make a decision about what I was going to do now that I recognized and acknowledged it. Here was the thing. I had kids to raise, and that was that. I had kids to raise. I had a 4-month-old, a 5-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 19-year-old. I had children to raise. My 19-year-old had left home, but I still had the 3 kids. And it was like, I can lay in this longer if that's what I choose, or I can pull myself up by my bootstraps, wash my face, put on some clean clothes, put on a good wig, and keep on moving, sis. That's what I had to do. For the next 12 years, I raised kids. Now we're at 14 years. It's going to be about, Jackson will turn 15, and his dad left when he was 4 months old. So it'll be 15 years. I watched my friends fall in love and get married, all while I raised kids. I watched friends purchase homes while I lived in a small 2-bedroom apartment. Y'all, the apartment was a blessing to us, but I realized that there was no way that I could have the master bedroom when my kids had the small bedroom. So what I did was sacrificed. I gave all 3 of the kids the master bedroom with the ensuite bathroom, and I slept on a twin bed. I slept on a twin bed for 7 years. There was a twofold reason for that. When you have been with somebody since you were 16 years old, when you've been with somebody since you were 16 years old, I didn't need to sleep in a big bed. I remember all the things that happened in that bed. And I had been sleeping with that man for 18 years. I was now by myself. I needed just enough space to sleep. That was it. Just right here. I don't need to reach over and try to feel. Ain't nobody there. Just one little space. And the kids had the bigger bedroom. Sacrifice. He just off living life. I'm over here sacrificing. But it was my reality. Follow the story, y'all. I'm going to make a point in a minute. I saw other people traveling all while I raised kids. I couldn't go nowhere. You can't go nowhere when you got small people. You can't. I mean, when you just get on a plane to take a kid in a car seat and a diaper bag, and you got to forget the milk and don't forget the asthma machine because Jackson was dealing with asthma, and just too much stuff to pack. I didn't go anywhere. I stayed at home because I had kids to raise. And the sad truth is, I was mad about it. I was like, God, why do they get to do all this while I'm raising kids? Why? Oh, he out here remarried. He doing all the things and I'm raising these kids. Y'all, please don't think that I'm perfect in all things. I have feelings. My human self was feeling away because I don't know. I can't say it's men or women. Whichever parent leaves, the other parent is going to feel away. I never even had the opportunity to go anywhere because you left. So somebody got to stay. What if I wanted to go? Nobody asked me if I wanted to go. I probably wanted to go 10 years ago, but I'm staying because I committed to this. But I had kids to raise. And so I accepted that position that God gave me to pour into my children. Was it always easy? It was never easy. Was it worth it? Every single time. When I look at my children now, it was always worth it. My oldest daughter is currently at Stanford University working on her doctorate's degree. She will be finished fairly soon. She's been there 3 years. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. A girl nobody wanted born. Nobody wanted her born at all. That's a whole nother story in itself. But here she is now. She's going to be the first doctor in our family. She is the first master's degree. She's going to be the first doctor in our family. My son went to the military, served 6 years for the military. He'd always wanted to go. He went. He got hurt. He got a medical discharge, all full benefits, all the things. And so he did his thing. My youngest girl is still at home, but she works like nobody's business. She don't like to stay home. She is all about her work. Her work ethic is as top tier as I have ever seen. She's trying to find another job so she can stack her paper. And then my youngest son, if the Lord allows, is going to follow in his mother's footsteps and become a preacher. He just don't know that quite yet. He's known that since he was little, but everybody got their process. But we think he's going to be an aerospace engineer. That's what and you look at it and you go, dang, everybody else is doing all this stuff and I got to raise these kids. But at the end of the raising, there's something that happens. Yep, that was me cutting the monkey food with the Lord. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, I snotted, I cried, I was ugly on the phone when he would call. I don't got nothing to say to you. What do you want? Why you not here? All these things. Child, we don't have no conversation. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Woo, I'm glad y'all didn't know me then. I met men who thought they were going to lose if they dated, fell in love, and married me. They're like, oh, no, she got kids. First thing they say, oh, no, she got kids. Sir, really? Really? That's how we going to go there? Okay. Very good. No worries. Fast forward 14 years, an experience with God, great church family and friends who decided to run the race with me. Where do you find me? Right where I should have been. See, I could not have seen it then that God had a plan for me. Jeremiah 29:11 says, I know the plans I have for you, saith the Lord. I couldn't see the plans. I just could see what was in front of me. I saw my reality and thought it was the truth. The truth was God had a plan for me. And the plan is I'm living in it right now. But 15 years ago, I don't want to hear none of that. And for anybody that wants to come up here and tell me, oh, it's not time for you to get a husband, God gonna send him when he's ready, don't tell me that either. I don't want to hear that either. That's not helpful. That's not helpful at all. I know that, but it's still not helpful. Okay. I'm right where I should be. I have raised my kids. Hear me. I have 3 adult children and 1 child that is going to be 15. 3 more years in this house. He actually will graduate in 2 years and will be off to college in the next 2 years. Everybody will be gone out of my house. And here's the truth about it. I'm still young enough to live my life. Still young enough to live my life. All the life I thought I gave up when I was raising my kids. I have raised kids, set them off into the world to be great. We'll graduate one next Saturday. Of course, that was 2 years ago when I was graduating sister. And I homeschooled on top of all the things I did. Work full time. I homeschool full time, ministry full time, and doing social media full time. And people will say, no, Shakima, you can't do all of that. Yes, I can. I don't have some of the restraints and constraints that you do. I don't have a husband. I don't have, I can't go outside. I may as well be in the house, doing homeschooling. When COVID-19 hit, when the pandemic hit and people was having to homeschool their children, people were going out of their mind. Let me tell you something. My kids we didn't skip their beat. They knew, get them books, get them computers. Let's go. We got work to do. I work, they work. Everybody in here. I had my desk here. I was doing work from home. They were right here on the bed doing work from home. And it was all good. But that's how it was supposed to be. And I couldn't see it then. I had so many other things I wanted to do then. But I would have been a mess trying to do it then. Right? Okay. And not always gracefully, but I still got it done. Not always gracefully, but I still got it done. All right. And the youngest one, he gonna ride with me in this thing called Life Till It's Done. I had posted a picture on Facebook. Now, I can't remember what I posted. I did not reference it here in the book, but I had posted something on Facebook. I had created a Facebook post. Most of you have followed me from Facebook posts. I just post encouraging things I think you should hear, God wants me to hear and to share with other people. You can do it. Don't give up. Keep living your life. God's going to turn it around. Keep serving the Lord. I know it seems hard right now, sis, but don't worry, it's going to get better. All those things. I post stuff almost every single day, multiple times a day. People get so sick of me. All you do is stay on your computer. Absolutely, because God has a plan for me. He has a plan that I'm supposed to be on here encouraging people. You would have never told a little girl from nowhere in North Carolina she was going to be a social media influencer. An influencer? I'm not from anywhere in North Carolina. We don't even have a stoplight. Ain't no stoplight, y'all. Hear me now. There ain't even a stoplight. And here I am, for all intents and purposes, looking at numbers of followers, a social media influencer. Now, I know there are a zillion people who don't know who I am, but the people who do, they have seen my story and they have understood that if God can do it for Shakima, surely he can do it for me. So that woman, you sir, who are in your feelings about why I got to be raising these kids and they out there living their best life, don't you give up yet. Don't you worry about it. Them kids going to soon be moved out if you do your job right. See, I had a job to do in those moments. And I did not realize it at the time that I had a job to do. But now that the job is done, at least that part of the job is done. What I needed to do for them when they were in their formative years. Now they are not in their formative years anymore. They've learned all the things they needed to learn. Now life and experience is going to teach them, but they have the skills to learn everything that life has to teach. They do have that. And they will not come back here talking about, Mama, I need to move back in. No, you're not moving in here. What you mean? Because, and people say, Shakima, you so mean you won't let your kids come back home. I didn't raise them to come back home. I raised them to move out. Now, they don't have to move out until they're ready to move out. But when you go, you gone. That's it. I didn't raise them to come back here and live with me with their 17 kids and their husband. Because he down on his luck. Don't get one down on his luck. You don't be down on your luck. Somebody got to keep y'all up. Y'all working together. I no longer feel like I missed anything. Because back there in those days, I thought I missed everything. I thought everybody else was out here living life. And I'm just missing everything because I'm raising these kids. And I was feeling a type of way. And I would get angry. And I would get mad. And I would get bitter. And I was like, argh. And it was like, really? You got to recognize the value of where you are. This is the season that I'm in. I have friends right now with smaller kids because they waited later to have children. Can I tell you this? And this is what Jesus, Lord have mercy. This is what I tell people. I'm so thankful that you have little kids that I don't anymore. I've spent the last 34 years raising children and I'm done now. To God be the glory. I don't hate my children. They don't hate me. We don't always see eye to eye on everything, but hey, we still family. It's all good. But we have a relationship, and it was all because I sacrificed. So whatever post I had posted on Facebook, I no longer feel like I missed anything. If God had given me a man back then, I don't know that my children would be who they are today, because I believe that my husband is my covenanted partner. And my attention would have been on my husband. My children might have lacked in some things. So most people would say, well, Shakima, that's not right. You don't supposed to put no man before your children. You don't read your Bible. The Bible does not tell you to leave your father and mother and cleave to your children. It says, leave your father and mother, cleave unto your wife. You got to read that word for what it is. It does not say that you're supposed to make your son the little man of your house. My son is my son. I think the comment on Instagram says you never know about life. You might have to move in with them. Your thoughts. I think that could be a thing. It could be possible, but I'm not talking about because of an illness or say, God, heaven forbid, one of my children got married and their spouse passed away, right? no fault of their own. Maybe it was a car wreck or something of that nature. Spouse passed away and they just struggling not to make ends meet because they did their financial stuff, but maybe they're just not able to get their life together because you lost your love. That's very different. I'm talking about the children who go out in life, get married, have kids, or don't get married, have a whole lot of kids. They with a broke man. She ain't got no money. They ain't got no money. The next thing you know, they're sending the kids back home to live with you. Or they moving everybody back in because mama, we don't have, No. We are on a track to build generational wealth. It is my desire that my children would never have to take care of me. If I have to go somewhere, then I hope that I have enough money saved up that I have enough to pay for where I need to go, because I do not want to put that stress and pressure on my children. When you move in with your children, you now have the husband that has to deal with you, the children that have to deal with you, and now you trying to deal with their rules and how they run their house, and you did your stuff different. See, it just causes contention and strife, and it shouldn't be like that. We actually want to get family land so that we all live together on the same property, but close enough we can be together and far enough apart we can be at our own house if that's what we want. I would love to have an interconnected house where I have my house here and the kids over here and a kid back here and a kid over here and a kid somewhere else on the top floor. I have 4 children. I'd love for us all to live close enough, but not together, because that's a lot of stress and pressure. And I don't want to bring that on my children. So I'm not saying that there aren't things or situations that might cause that, but I'm talking about just willful neglect. The problem that most people have, this ain't on my notes and this ain't about this, but I'll go here since this comment came up. The problem that most people have, my daughter gets so much flack, my 20-year-old, because most people say, why you still living at home with your mama? Why you ain't moved out yet? Why does she have to move out? She's 20 years old. She don't know, she don't need to move out. We get along just fine. She doesn't pay any bills in this house, because if you pay bills here, you get a say, and I don't want to hear what you have to say, so I pay them myself. Because she doesn't have expenses, she's now able to take all of her money and put it in her savings account, so that when she is ready to move out at 22, 23, 24, whatever her number is, because she can move out tomorrow. I'm not keeping her here. She'll be able, instead of going to rent an apartment for $1,500 a month, she'll be able to put a 20% down payment on a home that she'll own with the land on it. And she'll have a cheaper mortgage than she will in an apartment rent every month. Another mistake that people make is they get married very early. You get married. I got married at 19. We ain't have nothing. Not 2 nickels to rub together. We had love. Can I tell you, at 48, love is not enough. Love is not, you need a job. You need a job. But we get these people and they get married 19, 20, 21. Nobody's been anywhere. Nobody has any money. All we doing is because we hot and bothered. And so we just, it's better to marry than to burn. The next thing you know, then negligent parents are saying, when you going to have me some grandbabies? When you going to have me some grandbabies? First of all, we haven't even had enough time to learn each other. Now you want grandbabies, and because we hot and bothered and we got to satisfy whatever we got to satisfy, the next thing you know, 9 months later, the babies come. Well, nobody took into account that babies cost money. First of all, before the baby ever get here, you got to go to doctor's appointments, 9 months worth. And they want their payment up front. Then you got to pay for the hospital stay. That's if you paying for it at all, because I could be paying for it with my governmental programs that my taxes are paying for. I know this is a hard word, but I'm telling you, this is how we don't do our people right. Don't have children for me. I told my children, you ain't got to have no babies for me. Mom, you want to be a grandmother? If you have children, but don't have them for me, because I'm not going to be home keeping your children. I have kept my own children. I'm done with that. Will I be the best honey there is? I will, sweet as honey. But I'm not going to raise your children. If you had them, you raised them. Now, again, if something were to happen to my child and their spouse, I would take the children. But just because you want to go out and party like it's 1999, oh, no, sir, you're going to be raising them babies yourself. But we do all of that, right? So now they have moved out, they've gotten married, they had kids, and they ain't been in it but 2-3 years. Before too very long, somebody in that relationship is going to feel way more pressure and stress than they should have. And they're going to decide it is better for me to not be in this situation. And then somebody's going to find themselves a single parent. Somebody's going to be the absent parent. And then you're going to have that same cycle repeat itself. So I choose not to teach that at my house. I choose not to perpetuate that cycle of fatherlessness, of strong, independent Black woman, because nobody likes her. Even though that's what we were forced to do when the parent left and we ain't have no other choice, but nobody likes her. Man don't get no flack. It's us. You just do strong, independent. We don't want you. But I'm choosing something different for my family. That's why I've poured my whole life into my children. Everything I had, they got. Every single thing, whether they want it or not, they get it. Oh, you gonna get it. Oh, we having this conversation. What did you do? What was your decision? How did that work out for you? And it's not mean. It's not mean. We sit and we talk just like this. So how did that, what happened? Okay, explain. What do you think we should do about it? Because I want them to have tools to be able to go out on their own and make it. Alana was asking me the other night about, she had planned to move out in 2 years. 2 to 3 years was her plan. Well, she has a little friend and they've been talking about becoming roommates. And I said, no, ma'am, we don't do roommates. She's like, but mom, it's my friend. See, roommates, they pay half of the rent. So you get the roommates and whoever they got. You don't go out and party like it's $19.99, but your roommate do. They also bring people home that you don't know. They might want to have some beverages that you don't drink. They might want to be in them herbs and spices that you don't smoke. Now you in a problem. We don't do roommates. We do what I can afford on my own because the roommate may not keep their end of the deal. Now I'm stuck like Chuck and your credit bad because now you're going to default on your rent and you're going to be evicted. No. Well, that's harsh. No, it's not. It's reality. And if some of us took time to teach our children things, then we would not be paying for them later. Don't call me when you in some problems because we already had this conversation. We already put a plan in place. We already know what we're supposed to be doing. And if you don't follow the plan, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Okay? Now, I know that's hard for some people because y'all are Captain Save 'em out here. Jesus is the Savior. I am not. Well, Shakima, if your kids called you, you wouldn't go. Depends on what they're calling for. And that's very different, Miss Rose. Not everybody has that. The majority of the people do not have family support. They don't have financial support. They don't have emotional support. All they have is nothing. They really don't have it. So you're the exception to most rules. They don't have that. And so again, I was feeling like I missed stuff. But now that my children are older and they're living their best lives, them kids out there living, they not surviving. My children are not surviving. They are living. I'm getting ready to get a son-in-law. He is excellent. He is excellent. I just love him. Can't wait to make him a part of our family. We are just blessed to have him. Herbs and spices. Did you catch that one, Yolanda? Yes, ma'am. But I didn't miss anything. I was exactly where God needed me to be, smack dab in the lives of my children. I chose to sacrifice on the front end so that my latter half could be greater. He said, we're going to have a greater latter days than my former days. And I was here for it. Not then. My mind was I was like, wow, is this my life? But when I look at my family now, it has paid off for me in spades. In spades. Okay. Again, my focus would have been shifted. Now it doesn't have to be. With the exception of Jackson, all my children are grown. Oh, bless God for that. We live in a home that probably has almost, if not the most land in the development. The piece of property that I have in the subdivision that I live in probably is the largest plot out here. Single mom, raising kids, living in a 2-bedroom apartment, sleeping on a twin bed. We moved from the twin bed apartment to the golf course. We lived on a golf course. The Lord gave us a 3-bedroom because my oldest son had then moved out and went to the military. So it was just me and the 2 little kids. We moved on the golf course. God just kept elevating us. And then he allowed us to purchase this home. I purchased this home at the top of my price bracket. And when I sell this home, I'll sell it for twice what I paid. Therefore, being able to take out 100% of the equity, which is twice what I paid for the house. Which when the Lord sends my husband, I'll now have something in hand to say, babe, hey, this is what I got towards whatever we want to do later. If we want to get a new house, we want to get something for you and me. We don't want to live in yours. You don't want to live in mine. Hey, let's sell this. This is what I'm bringing. Most people want to know what you're bringing to the table. I got this. This is what I got. I got children that don't have drama. I got no stress. And I got this from the house. I work a job that I love, and I get to influence thousands of people to live your best life, to live well. That's what I get to do now. Right before, I thought I was missing something in life. I wasn't missing anything except the fact that if I had done it then, it would not be as effective as it is now. Some of you keep coming back every single night, and I ask myself, why? There's something about what I'm sharing, something about what I'm saying, something about what I'm doing that's drawing people. That's drawing people. See, that's good. Miss Rose said we were even blessed to be given a down payment by my parents for a new home as newlyweds. There are so few people that can afford that. So what I always knew is if my children ever paid rent to me, if they paid rent, what I was going to do is take that money, put it into an account, and when they moved out, gift the money back to them. Because I don't need you to pay my rent. I have that already. I take care of myself without any problems. And so, again, I had to look at it from a different perspective. My reality then is I felt like I was missing so much. The truth is, I was exactly where God needed me to be. My children needed a mom. They didn't need my attention divided and with a man and trying to, some people go through multiple men. I just don't know. I mean, that's not my jam, but hey, I couldn't have my kids, my girls, see this one and that one and this one and that one up in here. I just could not. I couldn't have that because I didn't need for them to perpetuate that lifestyle. My grand is gone. My mom is gone. So my grandmother's gone. My mother's gone. What does that make me? The matriarch of my family. And I'm glad about it. God did a good job putting me together because I was jacked up. Y'all, I was so out there with my life. I was just like, what is this? Why is this my life? And now I look at myself now and I say, how is this my life? It was, why is this my life? And now, how is this my life? I can't believe it. I can't. Some family members will even look at me and they go, Shakim, we can't believe you doing what you're doing. Oh my God. Or they would say the same thing. Why she always on Facebook? Well, Facebook provides income for my family. That's why I'm on here. Before it was providing income, I was still on here because God said, tell the people, if I can do it for you, I can do it for them. You cannot tell people and not show them what his doing for you looks like. You have to show people what it looks like. Now, again, I know a lot of people are judging me because of my children. They think I'm too harsh on my children. But if you ask my children, I tried to get somebody on tonight, but they were all busy. And Shamika's probably out celebrating her birthday or whatever the case is. But I tried to get somebody to come on to tell y'all, yes, it might have seemed harsh to you, but they're living their life very well. My son messaged me the other day. He said, Mom, do you have that budget sheet? I've been trying to get all my kids to use a budget sheet for years and years and years. Took Shamika a long time, took Alana a long time, but now Alana is on that budget sheet. She don't play with nobody's life. We didn't know what Trandon was doing. But here's him the other day. He's like, so hey, Madre, you got that budget sheet, buddy? I got for you. You want it? Yes. Because we need to be moving in the right direction. That's what we need. Upward progression, upward mobility. We moving towards generational wealth. We paying what we owe. We not owing nobody. We not running no debts up. We gonna move on. Here's my truth, my further truth. For anyone who felt like they were losing something, if they took a chance on us, you're lost, buddy, because we the bomb. We are. We just are. But I don't know that you blame people. Everybody has their preference. You like what you like. You want what you want. Go for that. But there were a lot of people that thought, if I take on Shakima with her 4 kids, I'm going to lose something. No, you would have gained something. But hindsight is 2020. And I don't revisit stuff after it has already passed me by. If you haven't gone past me, great. Keep on moving. Don't turn around. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200 because you're going to find yourself up in jail. Don't play over here. We done. You missed out. You snooze, you lose. That's okay. What you get over there is what you get. And it's great. My future looks as bright as the noonday sun. Jesus loves me more than I can ever put words on this or any other platform, and all of them together. Here's a couple verses just in case anybody needs to have some verses. Psalm 127 verse 3. Children are a gift from the Lord, offspring a reward from him. Here it is. It's hard raising kids. To all my single moms, if you're a single mom, put it in the comment, put a heart up or something, star, let me know. It's hard. If you're a single dad, if you're just a single parent, whichever parent you are, is no specification. It's hard because you feel like you missing out on life. And God is just telling us, listen, your children are a gift from me. I gave you those children to steward over them for a small amount of time. Eventually, they're going to move out and they're going to have their own life, and you're going to be able to recoup some of yours. Proverbs 22:6 in the NIV says, start children off the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it. It's my job to teach my children. It's their job to remember what they were taught. It's just like in school, it's no different. We send kids to school for the teachers to teach them, but it is your responsibility in the home to begin the teaching before they ever go. They don't go to school till they're 5 or 6 years old. You have those first formative years. It is for you to teach. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. I was sitting down at lunch yesterday with someone and they called my name and I said, sir. He said, what? Like, I know I got a little bit of great. I'm Southern. It don't have nothing to do with you. I'm Southern. My grandmother taught me to say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. Yes, sir, and no, sir. I'm not going to change what I learned just because you don't prefer it. And when my children slip and they forget, I have to remind Jackson. I'll call Jackson and he'll say, you call me mom? Or I'll give him a direction and he looks like he confused. I'll say, yes, ma'am. And he'll say, yes, ma'am. Still at 15, at 14. Because he needs that constant reminder. But I'll tell you this, when he goes out there into the world, he will not forget what I taught him here. Shamika tells her friends all the time, my mama said, my mama said, my mama said, my mama said, my mama, and she didn't want to hear what her mama was saying when she was in here. But now that she's out living on her own, my mama said, you probably need to make a song. My mama said, my mama said, my mama said, might make us some money or something. I don't know. Proverbs 22:6 in the Passion, dedicate your children to God and point them in the way they should go, and the values they've learned from you will be with them for life. You have to think about it. The values that you taught them to either value or devalue themselves by how you treat yourself. You've taught them to value or devalue money by how you manage yours. You taught them to value or devalue people, how you value people or devalue people. Everything that you have taught, just watch your children. Just watch them. We go out lots of places. And yesterday we went to lunch with my grandma, my dad, and one of the gentlemen from church. And it was just us. Yeah. Went out. And my grandma, my dad's mother is my last living grandparent, 82 years old. She is can't move around as much. And so Alana picked up her plate and went to go and fix her whatever she wanted. She stopped eating her meal. went to get what my grandmother asked her to get. My grandmother was getting into the car yesterday and she said, oh no, Lana, you could have rode in the front. I'll get in the back. And I said, I don't know how your other grandchildren treat you. But when you are with me, you are going to ride in the front seat. I'm going to pay your bill. You don't ever pull out your wallet. Never, not one time. When you with me, do you pull out a credit card? I went one other time. She was like, oh, you can run by the gas station. I'll get you a little gas. If you pull out that credit card, and I ain't mean to be ugly to my grandmother, but you will not. You took care of me when I was a little girl. It's my turn now to repay this favor. To drive you home from church, it ain't going to cost me no gas. What is that? When people treat you some type of way, you repay that treatment when you're older, when they can't do for themselves. Picture me allowing my grandmother to put gas in my car. If I didn't have gas, I wouldn't have came. But it's somebody got to teach you, and then you teach your children. And here's the thing. For those of us that did not have good parentals, our parentals just wasn't there. It wasn't good, whatever the case is. That does not mean that you still have to act the same way. Learn from somebody else. I'm an excellent people watcher. Things I wanted to learn that I was not taught, I just watch people. We talk too much. Stop talking and watch. Close your mouth, open your eyes. What's happening around me? This is how I want it to be with my family. Let me implement this. I had a lady not long ago, a couple weeks ago. She said, Shakima, kind of some of the stuff you was doing with your children, I'm about to implement that with my kids. Now you have to do it your way, but that's the way you do it. And I promise you, when they go out from here, they won't forget it. Proverbs 31, 27, 28. And this is where I'm hanging my hat because I'm done. Proverbs 31, 27, 28 in the Passion. She watches over the ways of her household and meets every need they have. Her sons and daughters arise in one accord to extol her virtues, and her husband arises to speak of her in glowing terms. In another translation, it says her children will rise up and call her blessed. For the very first time in my life, I believe it was in 2014, my children said that they were blessed by their mom. You don't have to think what I do is right. I didn't have to think the stuff I was doing was right either. But it is what it is. They get the final say on what I did for them. So this summer, because the summer's coming up, I'm going to be outside, y'all. Why? Because I've done what God has asked me. I run the race. I finished that course. I finished that leg of this marathon called my life. I raised my kids. I gave them everything I had. And I still give it to them if they need it. All the wisdom, all the things I can think of, I gave it to them. That's the best I knew how to do. So I'm going to be outside because it's my turn now. Because some people think it's never going to be your turn. Well, it is going to be your turn when it's time. When it's your turn. Look, I'm going to tell y'all the same thing. When it's your time, it's going to be your turn. How about that? You don't like that? We don't either. Single people do not like it. Absolutely honor my children. And I don't esteem anybody else more than I do my children. When we go out places, I make sure that I treat them like they should be treated. When we home, I treat them like they should be treated. But I'm going to be outside. And this is what happy looks like. Whatever that Facebook post that I put up, it was a happy thing. It was happy. It was probably talking about how good God had been to me, just living my best life. But I didn't think or know that it was my best life then. I know that it's my best life now. And I'm so very thankful for all that God has done for me. John 10:10, last scripture. This is like a life verse for me. This is a life verse for me. You have to find all the verses that give you life. This one gives me life. John 10:10 tells me, for the thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and destroy. I come that you would have life and life to the full. He wants me to live now, but not just live. Some people aren't even living. We're surviving. And God does not have survival for you. God has life for you. But he has more than just life. He has life to the full. There is a fullness of joy. There's a fullness of himself. All of that is for you. If you go back to, I think it was Romans 15. It was Romans 15:13. Let me see if I can find it. Because that verse, it was Romans 15:13. Can somebody find that one for me? I don't have my phone. I'm using it for Instagram. I'll find it. Romans 15:13 in the Passion Translation. Let me just find that for y'all because I want y'all to hear what it says. Romans 15:13 in the Passion says, "Now may God, the fountain of hope, fill you to overflowing with uncontainable joy and perfect peace as you trust in him. And may the power of the Holy Spirit continually surround your life with his superabundance until you radiate with hope." He is the fountain of hope. He wants to fill you to overflowing with joy and peace as you trust him. Is it Matthew? No, is it Matthew, Proverbs 3:5-6? Trust in the Lord and lean not on your own lean not unto your own understanding. That's my loose paraphrase. I didn't understand why God had me where he had me 15 years ago. I was so done with everybody. Like, why is this my life? And here I am now on the other side of it saying, how is this my life? How could this be it? I never thought I was going to be happy again. I never thought I was going to be joyful again. I never thought I was going to get over the breakup. I never thought my children were going to grow up. I thought I was going to be somebody's mama for the rest of my life. And while I am, that is true, they are well able to take care of themselves. And I get to live. God said, my latter days shall be greater than my former days. And I'm telling you, I am living in the greatest days of my life. The greatest days of my life. Never would have seen it coming then. But I'm so thankful that I'm able to live in it now. As we do every night, I'm going to finish with, do you know him? See, it's only in knowing him that you can experience what I experienced. You know who he is, but you need to know who he is. Who he is to you, who he is to your seed, who he is to your generation, who he is to your kids and your children's children to the third and fourth generation of children. That. And the thing is, Yolanda, I didn't always. She said you radiate the sun, the S-O-N. I didn't always. And I thank God that people can see that now. Please don't think my children are mistreated. They're not. My grandparents did way worse to me. Way worse. And did not care. My children are loved. They're well taken care of. And they are well. They are well. Romans 10:9-10 tells you how. That is your source verse for salvation. So if you do not know the Lord, go to Romans 10:9-10. Make a decision for him. And if you do know God, well, bless the Lord, oh my soul. Tomorrow night, we're going to be day 66, a heartfelt prayer. Tomorrow is about a heartfelt prayer for day 66. I thank you guys so much for stopping by and joining me. Please, please, please don't forget to like the video, share it, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not. We would love to keep you as a part of our community. Thank you so much for trusting me to share these things with you. It's just my heart. You got to go and ask God what he's saying to you about you. This is what it is to me. And through me sharing my stories, I pray that you would glean something that helps you along this journey, because we're pushing towards the greater latter days than we did in the former days. Love you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow night.